My name is Brendyn Schneider.
So what's the time? It's time to get ill! What's the time? It's time to get ill! What's the time? It's time to get ill!
It's 1986. I'm hanging out with my friend Vinny, and we're listening to a cassette tape with a crashed 747 on the front cover. What does he mean by that, Vinny? It's time to get ill. Rewind that, play it again.
So what's the time? It's time to get ill!
Sick? He wants to be sick? Why would he want to be sick? Nah, stupid. It means drink so much beer you're going to throw up. That's what teenagers do, for fun. Well, I don't want to throw up. And Vinny's older brother Anthony walks in the room and says, that's not what ill means. Ill means dope, fresh, being the coolest person in the room by just bugging out. Bugging out. Fresh. I was 10 years old, and for the first time in my life, I wanted to be ill. I had discovered the Beastie Boys. My older brother had the tape too. Licensed to ill. Of course. You were licensed, but like a driver's license, but some sort of sanction to bug out correctly. Yes, you may be ill.
Your mom busted in and said, "What's that noise?" Mommy's just jealous. It's the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, right, I'm jealous. Turn that shit off. Rebellion. I had arrived. I mean, this wasn't Elton John or Billy Joel or even the Beatles. This was our music. Our Beatles. I mean, the Beastie Boys were speaking our language before we even knew we had one. There were three guys, kids, not much older than us. Mike D, Ad Rock,
And MCA, and I could rock a block party till your hair turns gray.
There were stupid rhymes, dumb rhymes, awesome rhymes, stuff you turned down if your parents were around. It was rap. Oh shit, rap. I mean, this is the stuff that the kids in the city were breakdancing to. And we were skinny white kids on Long Island. I mean, we could listen too. We could bug out. And the Beastie Boys said, yeah. You see, it wasn't about color. It was about coming together. All the blacks, Puerto Ricans, and the white people too. My friends and I bought up everything the Beastie Boys put out. And with this newfound license, we ventured further in. Run DMC and Human Beatbox and the Fat Boys, and later on, Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul. Hip-hop was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was on the news, it was on MTV, it was high-top sneakers, it was graffiti on subway cars, it was kids freestyling in the hallways in school, it was kids breakdancing on flattened pieces of cardboard. It was electric. Now, our parents had the 60s, but the 80s, now, the 80s were ours. One night, I brought a big piece of cardboard into the living room. What the hell are you doing? It's the box from the new refrigerator, Dad. I know, I'm going to throw it out. What the hell's it doing back in here? I'm going to breakdance on it, Dad. Breakdance on it. Hey, come on, look, you're getting spaghetti sauce all over the floor. Breakdance it out in the street, you jerk. Junior high turned to high school. We all got a little older, but the Beastie Boys were right there with us.
People, how you doing? There's a new day dawning. Father, Earth, Mother, it's a brand new morning.
The rhymes were still crazy, but I started to pick up on something else. See, the Beastie Boys are a lot like New York City or a party going full steam. You pick up on the sort of loud, in-your-face people first, and that's Mike D and Ad Rock, with all due respect. But when you start digging a little into the back sections, you find something that's a little deeper. And that's the third guy, MCA. On their fourth album, he was seeking a kind of atonement. See, when the Beastie Boys first came out, a lot of their lyrics were sexist. But now he was rapping, I want to say a little something that's long overdue. The disrespect to women has got to be through. To all the mothers and the sisters and the wives and friends, I want to offer my love and respect to the end. He became a Buddhist, an activist. speaking out for Tibet. And in '94, he founded the Milarepa Fund, a nonprofit that fought for the rights of Tibetans. Now, in the early 2000s, I started writing short stories and essays, and I found another one of his lyrics that really started to resonate. Souls are praying to hope, and the message is sent, and I'm living in the dreams that I have dreamt. My short stories are starting to be published, and I was just starting to find success as a storyteller around Boston. So, I was living the dreams that I had dreamt. In 2009, MCA announced on their website that he had cancer in his salivary gland. But it wasn't a big deal. It was more of a pain in the ass than anything else. I mean, there was going to be some surgery, there would be a little bit of chemotherapy, but it was more of a pain in the ass than anything else. He wasn't, really feeling it. And the new album was still coming out. I saw him that year. I was in South Station, and I was waiting for a train out to Worcester or something. And I felt that old familiar pang of homesickness. I grew up in New York, on Long Island. And I felt that old familiar pang of homesickness when they made the announcement that the next train on track 1 was going to be heading down to New York. So I'm looking over there to see if I know anybody, and there he is. MCA from the Beastie Boys, just standing there. No hype, no rhymes, just a New Yorker waiting for a train. But I wanted to walk up to him. I wanted to see how he was doing, first and foremost. I mean, he looked like he was doing okay. He definitely didn't look like a guy going through chemo. But more than anything else, I just wanted to walk up to the guy and say, thank you. But I didn't budge. I didn't want to crowd him. I mean, in that instance, he was just Adam Yauch, New York, waiting for a train. Just a regular guy. In April of this year, Chuck D inducted the Beastie Boys into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They made it. They were one of the greats. But MCA didn't make it out to the ceremony. On the morning of May 4th, he died of cancer. He was 47. My brother Graham called me and told me about it, and I remember leaving my office and going out on the sidewalk and calling friends. I mean, none of us could believe it. A Beastie Boy? A Beastie Boy! Dead? Nah, you gotta get your facts straight, because the Beastie Boys are eternal. Eternal, but not immortal. 47. I mean, it's not much older than us. Us. He was one of us. And if my friends and I were feeling that sense of loss, what could it possibly be like for the other two guys in the band? What could Mike Diamond and Adam Horowitz possibly be going through? When I first thought that, it was staggering. It blew me away. And I felt a cord leading all the way back to my childhood snap. There wasn't going to be another album. Because now it was goodbye. So, because I didn't before, and because there's never any time like the present, MCA, thank you.